Very good evening to you. This is KTN Prime on the 12th of July 2012. And stay tuned for exclusive pictures here in KTN Prime as we show you two men trying to get in more than a ton of explosives into our country. Those are the first set of shocking pictures that we have for you. But also, is this man Kabuga or not? A man steps out to say that he is not the Kabuga, as was alleged in a TV report. Stay tuned for those two stories this evening.
And on a lighter note, we're asking you, is your child immunized? Because the Public Health Ministry has rolled out a re-immunization campaign. But well, let's take a look at some of the top stories in our bulletin tonight. Officials intercept tons of potential bomb-making material bound for Kenya.
The body that clears candidates is actually the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We will receive nominations documents from candidates.
IEBC avoids ICC debate as civil society demands Uhuru and Ruto be banned from elections.
Government defies Attorney General and files appeal against County Commissioner's ruling.
We wish to state that our own inquiries have proved beyond doubt that this information cannot possibly be true.
Security agencies fight to discredit investigative piece on Felician Kabuga.
A very good evening and welcome to KTN Prime. Anti-terrorism police officers are investigating a suspect consignment containing chemicals that can be used to manufacture bombs and other fatal explosives. Police say 1 ton of potassium nitrate and ½ a ton of sodium bicarbonate was seized from a man who owns a go-down in the border town of Namanga. This after customs officials were approached by 2 suspicious people who wanted to compromise them not to declare the contents of the consignment. KTN has obtained exclusive pictures of the deadly explosives, and now Dennis Onsarigo tells us of this latest discovery as the country remains highly vigilant in the face of terror attacks.
This is the consignment of highly explosive material in the hands of wrong people, according to government officials. The consignment of 20 bags of potassium nitrate and a similar size of sodium benzoate was seized Tuesday by customs officials who raided a warehouse of a man police have only identified as Moria at the border point in Namanga. The consignment was ferried to the border town of Namanga from Tanzania as one consignment, Christian Perfect. Those who imported the consignment did not, however, seek to have the goods cleared in the normal way, raising suspicion among customs officials. Kenya Revenue Authority customs officials were approached by 2 men who wanted them to clear consignment which they failed to disclose, prompting them to extensively ransack the inland godowns in the border town of Namanga.
The people came about a week ago and then they vanished. And as a result, our officers had to look for the goods where they'd been stored and finally managed to locate them yesterday.
A raid in one of the stores belonging to a man now on the run led the officials to stumble upon 1 ton of potassium nitrate and ½ a ton of sodium benzoate, a lethal combination of chemicals that can be used to manufacture explosives.
It is rare to have this kind of fertilizer being imported through here. The other fertilizers which normally come are the ones which do not pose any dangers or which do not have multiple uses, but this one has got a multiplicity of uses. It is in itself a finished product and also a raw material in the manufacture of explosives.
An explosion along Moya Avenue which claimed the life of 1 person and injured a dozen more, according to police, was carried out using sodium nitrate but in fertilizer form.
So far nobody has come forth to claim the goods, but the moment somebody appears, we shall take appropriate measures.
Anti-terrorism police officers have already been sent to the border town of Namanga to track down 3 men, the owner of the godown where the consignment was seized from, and the 2 others who showed up at customs offices asking officials at the border point not to declare the contents of the consignment. Denson Sarigo, KTN Prime.
And of course, you continue to be urged to be careful throughout the country. Report to the police officers of any suspicious activity that you come across. Moving on with KTN Prime, the government, in a surprise move, has moved to defend President Mwai Kibaki's contested county commissioners. Internal Security Acting Minister Yusuf Haji has filed a notice of appeal at the Appeals Court Registry through City Lawyer Kibe Mungai. The state wants the High Court decision rejecting the appointments as illegal reversed, but in a swift rejoinder, Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa has rejected this particular move to appeal that appears to split the executive right in the middle. KTN Samogena brings us those particular details.
The state has moved to legitimize the stay of county commissioners in office even after High Court nullified their appointment and deployment as unconstitutional. The Office of the President's Ministry of Internal Security now intends to reverse the court's decision. Acting Internal Security Minister Yusuf Haji has filed an appeal notice at the Court of Appeal Registry Thursday morning. This becomes the latest shot to overturn High Court Judge Mumbi Ngugi's ruling delivered on June 29th. Immediately after the ruling, the government ignored the court advising the county bosses not to budge from office. Haji's decision to file for an appeal is viewed as a move to diffuse mounting opposition against the president's men and women and threats of a court action by the Law Society of Kenya.
The court ruling has been there, and when we were deployed as county commissioners, it is the employer who posted us as county commissioners.
Once again, confusion has emerged on the government side, with Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa claiming the president circumvented his ministry and Attorney General Professor Gideon Muigai's advice to uphold the court ruling. The Justice Minister affirmed the appointments are unconstitutional.
I have made my opinion clear that we must respect the rule of law, we must respect the ruling of the court, and that is my position.
Just last week, the State Law Office wrote to the Internal Security Ministry, Permanent Secretary Mutea Iringo advising against appealing the High Court decision, annulling the appointments. But the state appears determined to save the president's county bosses, even ignoring advice from its chief legal advisor. In her ruling, Justice Mumbi Ngugi said the appointments were null and void as they never met gender balance, and likewise Prime Minister Raila Odinga was not consulted as enshrined in the National Accord and Reconciliation Act. In the meantime, the county bosses continue performing their duties as usual as the ruckus over the appointments continues. Samogina, KTN Prime.
Now that story leads us to the big question tonight, and we're asking, do you support the government move to appeal against the ruling on county commissioners?
There you have it. That's a big question. As always, SMS your yes or no answer to the number on your screen. That's 8040. Basically, on which side you are. The courts say they should not be in office, but the government says, go ahead, do your job. We'll be sampling some of your comments and, of course, telling you the poll results at the end of this live newscast. 8040 is the number. We're moving on with KTN Prime. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it's not its job to determine whether Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto are eligible to contest for presidency in the next general election. In what some have termed as an abdication of responsibility, IEBC has clearly passed the buck to the Ethics and Anti-Graft Commission.
This as the proposed civil societies condemned the Integrity and Leadership Bill, saying it had many loopholes that could be exploited by people of questionable integrity to ascend to power. KTN's Ann Kiguta has the details.
Amid growing debate on whether Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto should be allowed to vie for public office in the next general election, the IEBC appears to be washing its hands off the matter. IEBC Chair Ahmed Isaac Hassan says that the buck does not stop with him when it comes to who is eligible to contest in the general election.
Under the Leadership and Integrity Bill, which is now going to Parliament for debate, the body that clears candidates is actually the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We will receive nominations documents from candidates.
Hassan spoke in Nairobi when he unveiled the new IEBC brand. Even with the mandate of the anti-graft body in clearing candidates, civil society groups insist Isaac Hassan's team has the power and responsibility to ensure those intending to contest the next poll are above reproach. In a letter to the Commission, the International Center for Policy and Conflict says IEBC's constitutional mandate is to ensure the conduct of elections is fair and that those powers stretch to verifying the integrity of the election candidates. The remarks come a day after Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa, who is a Uhuru and William Ruto political ally, said the two ICC suspects can contest the general election as it is their constitutional right. But the civil society says leadership is not a right but a privileged position.
Uamuzi wa mahakama ya ICC yapeana nafasi kwa Mheshimiwa Ruto, Mheshimiwa Uhuru kushiriki katika uchaguzi mkuu ujao.
This is not a question of right. It's about leadership. Leadership is not a matter of right of the individual. It is a matter of privilege extended by the sovereign authority of the people.
Kenya does not live in isolation. If you have leaders who cannot transact business with the rest of the world, how do you live as a country?
A landmark court case challenging the suitability of Uhuru and Ruto to vie for the elections is expected to be determined on the 31st of this month. The debate comes even as stakeholders debate the Leadership and Integrity Bill 2012, which, if passed, will provide key regulations to vet the suitability of those vying for public office. Among their recommendations, the civil society wants those who have been implicated in unethical behavior declared ineligible to stand for election to a state office.
Looking at Article 145, for instance, of the Constitution, which talks about impeachment of president, that if the president is reasonably suspected of committing a crime, it is suspicion, not convicted, that is a basis for impeachment of the president. So here we have, in our situation, where we have gone beyond just suspicion, but we have charged these people that have been indicted.
The group also wants public officers' declaration of their incomes, assets and liabilities to be made available to the public for scrutiny. They want public officers being investigated to be required to resign and not step aside as stated in the bill. Ann Kiguta, KTN Prime.
Now, pay close attention to this one. Your input may just be needed in the course of this bulletin. This after the police this evening paraded a man whom they allege a local television station recently claimed was the Rwandese fugitive Felician Kabuga hiding in Kenya. The man who came out today is called Daniel Muthengera, who is a businessman in Isiolo, and he said has been forced to now close his business and seek police protection for fear he might be harmed. Take a look at this story.
Daniel Muthengera arrived at the police headquarters in the company of close family members and his lawyer. He was here to complain over an investigative story aired by a local television station where pictures of the alleged Kabuga were shown. Muthe was wearing outfits resembling those of the alleged Kabuga, only that the t-shirt looked relatively new. Police say they have cause to believe the man represented as Kabuga and alleged to have been photographed in Forces Memorial Hospital by an ex-Kenya Defence Forces employee is Daniel Muthengera. Muthe says the pictures were taken in March this year.
They were taken without my knowledge, and I don't know for what reason they were taken.
Muthe says he never saw the breaking news on Kabuga's presence in Kenya, but then, what was his reaction when he learned the pictures shown could have been his?
We admired because of me and my wife. And when the news were given and we saw my pictures there, actually she collapsed also because I could not imagine, she could not imagine being a wife of a Kabuga.
Has Muthe been in Rwanda?
I've never been to Rwanda, nor do I know Rwanda language. The farthest I've gone is Kisumu.
Felician Kabuga has been on the run since the Rwanda genocide in 1994. Police say they officially invited 3 detectives from the United Nations International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda in 2007 to hunt for Kabuga after the tribunal claimed Kabuga was hiding in Kenya. FBI formally joined the hunt in 2009 to effect the international warrant of arrest. Police say the detectives have been given unfettered access to every part of this country in their efforts to capture Kabuga.
Considering all these efforts and the fact that there is a 400 million Kenya shillings bounty over his head, the government of Kenya has repeatedly stated in various forums that we don't believe that Felician Kabuga could be hiding anywhere in this country.
Mudhe says he has been forced to close his business in Isiolo and seek police protection.
Moments after it was aired and they received those phone calls, a motor vehicle stopped outside their gate, remained there for 30 minutes, which added to the trauma that they already had. They were forced to move into a hotel nearby because of the threat to their lives. Let alone, the government was kind enough, through the intervention of Mr. Kiraibe, to provide security for the family.
Though it has not been confirmed that Mudhe is the man claimed to have been photographed at Memorial Hospital according to the story, the police now want the media house behind the story to apologize to the National Security Services and the families that have been subjected to anxiety over the story. Mudhe warned he might seek court redress over the matter. Patrick Amimo reporting for KTN.
Moving on to more news, and on a good note, in the world of sport, Daisy Jepkemei delivered gold number 2 for Kenya in the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase in a race which ended a few minutes ago. Jepkemei, who had qualified for the finals with her personal best time, took the lead after 3 minutes to win gold in a world junior leading time of 9 minutes 47.22 seconds. Stella Ruto was third behind Ethiopia's Tejinesh, and who finished in a personal best time of 9 minutes 50.51 seconds.
Come to expect so often in the steeplechase, particularly amongst the men, but also amongst the women. But it looks like there's a battle royal because Kabisa has responded to that challenge. That's the battle for silver. But meanwhile, up front, sprinting now for home, it's Daisy Jepkemei of Kenya. Once again, it's a Kenyan triumph in the steeplechase. It's easily a personal best. It's the world-leading mark, 9:47.24. Oh, and Kabisa just dips to maintain the silver medal for Ethiopia ahead of Ruto, with Butvina of Kabisa was to respond to the challenge after I thought that she'd faded quite badly, as we see now some of the...
Well, congratulations to the star there. Now let's move on to matters politics. Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi is crisscrossing central Kenya, trying to popularize his bid for the presidency in the next general election. Today he held rallies in Nyahururu and Nyeri counties, telling residents he will be seeking a political alliance with Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta to enable him win the presidential election in the first round. KTN's Erina Cheng reports.
The United Democratic Forum UDF was campaigning in unfamiliar grounds in central Kenya, a zone that is presumably Uhuru Kenyatta's turf. Here, presidential hopeful Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi says he will be seeking a political reunion with Uhuru Kenyatta ahead of the coming polls.
Mimi ndio Musalia Mudavadi alias Masharia. Masharia ni yule anatafuta, si ndio? Na nimerudi tena hapa kutafuta.
Mudavadi, who has in the recent past campaigned in central Kenya continuously, maintains that he wants to win the election's first round without an option of a rerun.
Nataka watu wa maono ya mbele.
Basi the choice is very clear. Na leo mimi nafurahi kwamba tutaenda kuambia hata mzee tumwambie we are very happy, we are in Nyeri. Na hata Nyeri wenyewe wamesema ile wewe pia umeona kwamba you hand over to these young wonderful people of UDF.
The declaration that Mudavadi may be seeking an alliance with Uhuru Kenyatta, with whom they vied and lost in 2002, presents an interesting realignment. But the picture is complicated by Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa, who is presumably Mudavadi's opponent and critic in Western Kenya. If Mudavadi joins forces with Uhuru Kenyatta, then Wamalwa may be forced to play ball and work with Mudavadi, or go it alone without Uhuru. Mudavadi has never been shy about admitting that he needs Uhuru support, and now it appears Uhuru is spoiled for choice when it comes to picking whom to work with among his many political suitors. Aaron Ocheng, KTN Prime.
Well, from politics, let's delve into very important health matters. And is your child fully immunized? After 2 outbreaks of deadly measles in the last year and a half, the Ministry of Public Health is embarking on a countrywide re-immunization of all children under the age of 5 years, scheduled for September this year. But before that, Director of Public Health, Dr. Shanaz Sharif, has announced a polio immunization campaign in northeastern, western, Nyanza and North Rift safe regions starting this Friday. So if you're in any of those regions, pay close attention.
Last July, a confirmed case of polio in Rongo, Nyanza region shocked Kenya. Over the last 6 years, the country has recorded 21 cases of the paralyzing disease, 19 of them in Turkana and 2 in Garissa. The distribution shows that the virus may have originated from neighboring countries, Somalia and South Sudan, possibly through refugees. To curb the spread of the incurable disease to Kenyan children, starting this Friday, the Ministry of Public Health and Sanitation will move house to house to vaccinate children under the age of 5 against polio. The targeted regions are the whole of northeastern and western, Kisumu, Migori, Homa Bay and Siaya in Nyanza, Turkana and West Pokot counties, and Kwanza, Trans Nzoia West, Baringo North, East Pokot and Marigat districts in Rift Valley. Refugee camps will also be covered. Director of Public Health, Dr. Sharif Shanaz, appealed to parents to present their children for immunization.
Polio vaccines are safe and the campaigns are going to be conducted free of charge.
The United Nations Children's Fund announced the same campaign has been launched in surrounding countries to help stop the spread of polio.
The risks that we see that makes the country not sustain this polio-free status is the fact that there are imported cases.
The ministry will engage community volunteers to supplement the services of health workers. The first round of the campaign will be conducted between Friday 13th and Wednesday 18th, with a second phase scheduled for 25th to 29th of August. A countrywide measles campaign is set for the 15th to 19th of September this year.
Measles causes death, but apart from that, it may cause lifelong disability, including brain damage, blindness and deafness.
The measles campaign will cost just over 840 million shillings. Anso Mwendia, KTN Prime.
We're just about to take a very short break, but before that, we want to remind you of our interactive segment this evening. We want to hear your opinion. This matter is currently being discussed at the politics level and, of course, in the courts, but what do you have to say? Here's the big question. Do you support the government's decision to make an appeal against the ruling on county commissioners? Do you support the government's move to appeal the decision that was made by the court, basically ruling that county commissioners should not be in office?
Well, we'd like to hear from you. All you have to do is SMS us using the SMS number 8040, and remember to leave your name and where you're texting in from. You're watching KTN Prime, and just ahead, a prisoner on the run after escaping custody in Eldoret.
Financial Advisory. UAP. Better Simple Life.
To me, hey, yeah, yeah. All I need is a here right here in Africa. Share to secure me here in Africa. All I need is a here right here in Africa. To give my seas, oh, start me, yeah, Africa. I love you, Africa. I love you, Africa. I love you, Africa. I love you, yeah. I love you, Africa. I love you, yeah.
Herbal Betasil medicated lozenges. Fast, effective, and soothing action for sore throats.
A sore throat can be so uncomfortable and just makes you miserable, making swallowing painful, talking a bother, and even singing stressful. When you have a sore throat, take it easy. Ensure you take plenty of fluids, and remember, always, when symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Now introducing 2 new Betasil flavors, Betasil Menthol and Betasil Peppermint.
Escape to a world of freshness. A clean, happy place full of hope. This is a life full of flavor. So enjoy good health.
You belong to me.
And new beginnings.
And I belong to you.
Welcome to Pwani Life.
32 million shillings worth of cash and other Olympic branded prizes to be won with Coca-Cola Chota Chapa. Buy 300 or 500 ml glass bottle Coke, Fanta, Sprite, Stoney or Crest Bitter Lemon and look under the crown for your prize. For cash prize, SMS the unique code under the crown to 5054. Hurry, there's 32 million shillings in cash to be won with Coca-Cola Chota Chapa. See press and posters for details. Terms and conditions apply. Coca-Cola, worldwide partner of the 2012 London Olympic Games.
Hi, I'm Ivy. I'm 14 years old and I'm in Form 1. I love playing basketball. I want to be a pediatrician. The reason why I want to be a pediatrician is because I love helping children. BIC is my choice because I need it to write my future.
Think big, write big.
The Word of God is God's mirror for your spirit. If you don't know what's there, you will never maneuver accordingly. But you'll be amazed to discover what's in that book. It'll change you. I'm trying to tell you, it doesn't matter what you go through. In the midst of the trouble, in the midst of the darkness, in the midst of the pain, you ought to say what God says. Hear me? Don't give up. Hear me? Don't give in.
Welcome back. You're watching KTN Prime. Now, earlier on, we asked a question. Do you support the government move to appeal against the ruling on county commissioners? Now, a lot of SMSs are coming through. I'll just go through one of them. Someone here is saying, no, the time of imposing cronies to cushion imperial authority is long gone. The law must be followed. Justice must rule. And this is coming in from you, Otieno Ayara in Nairobi.
It does seem we have quite a number of no's. Coincidentally, we also have a no here. Somebody says, no, the government's application for appeal against a court ruling confirms how agents of impunity and anti-reformist agents of no change have resurfaced to frustrate the implementation of a hard-fought-for constitution by running battles in the streets of Kenya, and others bringing change by the blood and deaths at the brutal hands of a police state and government. Very long one there from Kolela Roscoe. Thank you very much for sending in your comments. Let's go on with KTN Prime, and UNICEF will continue collaborating with the government and other stakeholders to combat maternal and infant mortality in Kenya.
Speaking at the Standard Group when he paid the company's management a courtesy call, newly appointed UNICEF representative to Kenya, Kayanko Marcel, actually lauded Kenya for bringing down infant mortality rates, and we have the details.
This year's 2012 United Nations report on the Millennium Development Goals rated Africa poorly on issues of reduction of infant mortality and reduction of maternal mortality rates. The UN report warned that if African governments and stakeholders do not take immediate action, the situation is likely to worsen. UNICEF representative to Kenya, Kanyankore Marcel, who spoke at the Standard Group headquarters, said his organization will step up efforts in collaboration with the government to help reduce maternal death and infant mortality by 2015.
We will strengthen our collaboration with the government, but we understand it's not only with government. We need to do it with communities themselves. We need to do it with the civil society and the private sector to actually create the focus on that very challenging area.
A majority of Kenyans in informal settlements and rural areas are unable to access health facilities, and UNICEF says it will strive to reach vulnerable groups across the country. Standard Group's Chief Operating Officer Sajvit Chana called on the organization to work towards ensuring that the basic needs of vulnerable children under 5 are addressed.
We need to do a lot more, so that the children can get access to the basic needs, and then when they grow up, they can actually realize their dreams.
We still need to reach out to those vulnerable groups that exist in different parts of the country. When you look at the disparities and the vulnerabilities, you see a picture where some areas are still falling behind and are still lagging behind.
Kenya has made some strides in infant and maternal care. A recent World Bank report praised Kenya's efforts in reducing infant and maternal mortality rates. For KTN Prime, I'm Angel Katusia.
Well, Mr. Kanyankole Marcel seems to have quite a good job that he's doing, and we wish him all the best. Now let's move on to more news. The Judges and Magistrates Vetting Board Chairman Sharad Rao has opposed claims that the board's term had expired and clarified that they had sought for the deletion of timelines for completion of vetting of judges and magistrates. Now this comes amid controversy surrounding the recent amendment of the Vetting of Judges and Magistrates Act, and the Attorney General is now expected to propose an amendment to the Act in Parliament to revert the vetting of magistrates to the vetting board. Earlier today, High Court Judge Kalpana Rawal went in for a closed-door vetting by the board as the vetting process resumed.
Well, if you happen to be around the CBD today, you might have noticed this. We want to bring you what happened inside Nairobi as chaos reigned in the city today as Matatu operators blocked roads and staged protests over alleged harassment by city councillor Skies. The workers claimed that they had been forced to hand out bribes in order to avoid harassment. Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is accompanied by the Sarehe Member of Parliament, Margaret Wanjiru, authorized tells the matatu operators from now henceforth to make citizens arrest. KTN's Wilkisi Nyabo filed the following report.
They sung, they chanted, and for the better part of the afternoon, matatu operators blocked all roads leading to and from the railway's matatu terminus. It is here that the demonstration started and then spread all the way to Tomboya Avenue and other streets within the central business district, the resulting chaos leading to traffic snarl-ups that lasted for hours, forcing passengers to alight and walk to their destinations, while businessmen, sensing danger, shut down operations for the day. The matatu operators had decided to down their tools, protesting what they termed mistreatment and harassment at the hands of city council askaris.
Traffic akikushika akikwambia una badge, yenyewe unajiangalia unaona hatina badge, anakuelezea. Mwingine na yeye anakwambia una uniform, na yenyewe jua una uniform, unachukua unajisort. Lakini kanjo hata ulipe parking, ushukisha abiria, bado unakushika.
The matatu operators claiming that city council staff often solicited bribes of 300 shillings for every offence committed. Further, they complained that there was a plan to remove them from the convenient railways terminus.
Unashuka mahali wanakushika atio sio stage. Bado unashindwa sasa tuko na uhuru gani katika Kenya hii.
After hours on the streets, Prime Minister Raila Odinga and State Member of Parliament Margaret Wanjiru arrived. They promised to address the issue of harassment of matatu operators by law enforcement and city council staff.
Askari yoyote wa city council wa polisi ambaye ataonekana patikana kama anajaribu kutoa hongo kwa watu wa matatu ashikwe hapo hapo.
The standoff resolved, the striking matatu workers dispersed, allowing traffic to flow freely once more, satisfied with the outcome of the day's demonstrations. Reporting for KTN Prime, I'm Wilkisi Nyabo.
Well, from the chaos in Nairobi County, let's have a look at news from around the counties in our country.
Police and prison warders in Eldoret are searching for an inmate on the run. The 34-year-old prisoner escaped Wednesday morning when he and 70 other inmates were at a maize plantation in Eldoret town carrying out various chores. The Assistant Commissioner of Prisons has called on the residents to volunteer any information leading to the inmate's arrest and not harbor any felon as it is a crime. Elsewhere, leaders and residents of Mararal in Samburu County held a peaceful demonstration in a bid to sensitize the public on the use of trachoma drugs. Samburu County Commissioner Wilfred Wasongo and AMREF's Director General Francis Lebikina urged area residents to abandon the use of traditional medicine and instead embrace conventional medicine.
The Bible says,
in Machakos, a police corporal stunned residents after he began enthusiastically preaching in the town. The officer, Isaiah Sakwa, says that he decided to spread the word of God after years of suppressing what he terms as a hidden talent. Isaiah says he will not leave his administration duties. Instead, he will use it as a way to reach out to criminals that he comes across on a daily basis. Finally, Higher Education Minister Margaret Kamar has cautioned public university councils against ethnicizing the institutions. The minister urged the bodies to ensure ethnic balance in staff recruitment in the learning institutions. The minister was speaking at Teachers Advisory Center in Eldoret during the annual general meeting for Eldoret East Women's Circle.
Every year, 15,000 women die as a result of pregnancy and child-related issues in Kenya. The statistics are just staggering. 5 out of every 100 children will not reach their first birthday. And for this reason, Philips Healthcare Africa and KTN are brought together, Saving Mother and Child, to discuss the way forward.
From downtown to upcountry, from hard at work to hard at work.
The NP300 hardbody boasts a tough engine and uncomplicated design. With the TD27 2.7-liter diesel engine, the NP300 has a host of performance and design upgrades, as well as has been proven to be tough, reliable, and durable workhorse in its class. The MP300 Hichoki is the ideal business choice and offers exceptional return on investment. So, whether you're self-employed, a sole trader typically working in remote locations or construction sites, or whether you do landscaping projects or agriculture, the MP300 hard body is the pickup for you.
Ndani kama Nissan.
That's right. Yeah, I wanna say, where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my Stay young, do milk, stay young,
Do milk. This year, it's time to go big. Enjoy unbelievable discounts on home furniture, furnishings and decor. Get your dream bathroom at rock bottom prices, or even transform your office with big bargains. There's only one sale, the big annual sale at the Tile and Carpet Center. Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
Good evening once again and welcome to KTN Business Today. Treasury has today admitted that it misled Parliament by giving it interim accounts instead of the audited ones, a scenario that has led to questions being raised over discrepancies over the same amounting to 98 billion shillings. During a hearing between Treasury officials, those from KRA and the House Committee on Budget, the competence of Treasury in handling public revenue also came under sharp scrutiny. We have the details.
After the Office of the Auditor General pointed an accusing finger at Treasury over 98 billion shillings that could not be accounted for, Treasury today sought to clear the air over the allegations. While facing the House Parliamentary Committee on Budget, Treasury said it lacked proper facilities to manage public funds.
If this department is competent, honestly, Mr. Mutuakelaga, why can't you capture this? And this is revenue. You keep revenue of this amount uncaptured, some dating back to 12 months before the end of the financial year.
We need to know which is the term that is correct and that describes what.
During the same hearing, it emerged that consultations between Treasury and KRA, departments involved in public revenue, hardly occurs.
So how often do you two engage so that we don't have to be coming here to cross-check and to get information from your side?
We are working to improve the relationship and the engagement, because nothing is ever perfect. Yes, we have engagements, but I think also from this there are learning points coming out on the need to maybe improve in certain areas.
The House Budget Committee called on both Treasury and the KRA to reconcile their accounts as the committee prepares to table a report on its findings in Parliament.
The National Social Security Fund, NSSF, will for the first time in its history hold an annual general meeting. The meeting, scheduled for end of August this year, will, among other things, discuss the planned transformation of the fund into a pensions fund from its current Provident Fund status. Now, from Nakuru County, Zipporah Karani has the details.
The event, scheduled at the end of next month, will be in its sense a transformation in the running of the giant social fund's affairs, according to Acting Managing Trustee Tom Olongo. This will also be a stepping stone out of its questionable past.
but where we are moving away from the bad past. For us to move from the bad past, we must be accountable to our members.
The meeting will provide an opportunity for, among other things, stakeholders to raise concerns on the affairs of the NSSF as a way of creating a transparent and accountable fund to Kenyans who contribute to the fund.
Through that way, we will be showing them this is how we received, this is the amount of money we received from you, this is how we invested it, this is the dividend we are declaring or the interest we are declaring on your earnings.
It is at the event that NSSF will also appraise members on plans to transform from a provident fund to a pension scheme. This is according to the acting managing trustee, will add value to contributors in retirement as opposed to current lump sum payments upon retirement.
We must transform this institution. So we are coming up with a transformation bill where we are saying we want, number one, for members to increase their savings. We want, number two, to stop the issue of lump sum payment.
Final draft bill on the proposed transformation should be in place in the next month, ready for cabinet approval before tabling in Parliament in November. Odongo speaking in Nakuru during the NSSF RVP Staff Performance Awards. During the ceremony, Kericho branch emerged the best branch, while Nakuru branch produced the best manager. Zipporah Kurani reporting for KTN from the county of Nakuru.
Now looking at more business, Rift Valley Railways has imported items worth $19 million for its first tranche of the Mombasa-Nairobi railway line. This it did even as cases of rail vandalism continue to dog its operations around the country.
The dilapidated railway system in the country may soon receive a facelift as focus now shifts to improving condition of the permanent line from Mombasa to Nairobi. This move will most likely improve transit times, with line speeds increasing from the current range of between 25 and 30 kilometers per hour to 70 kilometers per hour.
This is the beginning of a program of about $287 million, which will be spread over about 5 years.
A total 6,869 metric tons of rail bars, 10,000 sleepers and other rail accessories have been shipped in as expensed out of the first tranche of the finance package signed in August 2011. In addition to relaying of the railway, RVR has also commissioned the construction of 9 culverts between Busembatia and Jinja in Uganda at a cost of $4.9 million, expected to be complete by December 2012.
When you've got an efficient, well-run, seamless transport system, then our economy can grow.
In its current state, RVR moves an average of 1.7 million tons annually, just 7% of the current market share. But with the new development, critical issues in the running of the railway system still needs to be addressed, key among them vandalism. Zawadi Mdibo, KTN Business Today.
Thank you, Zawadi Mdibo. Now, like the saying goes, it's business every day, and we have so many business stories lined up for you, but we'll just give you a brief of some of them that are coming from across the country.
CFC's Stanbic and the Commercial Bank of Africa joins the growing list of commercial banks that have reduced their best lending rates after the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee effected a 150 basis points cut in the country's CBR rate. Through a newspaper advertisement, both CFC's Stanbic and the Commercial Bank of Africa announced a 1.5% cut in their best lending rates to 22.5%. Elsewhere, Postbank has unveiled a savings product for the adolescent youth between the ages of 12 and 18. The Smarter account requires an opening balance of only 50 shillings and will seek to loop in the unbanked youth population through financial inclusion. Young Smarter account holders will have access to Pata Cash, Postbank's mobile banking platform. And finally, consumer electronics maker Samsung has donated Samsung Galaxy tablets to aid the e-learning in Nairobi's Kawangware slums. The Elimu Galaxy Tab 7 in Elim House of Grace Academy and the Math House Academy in Kawangware incorporates content correlation to the national curriculum and features animation, videos, games, music and quizzes to make learning process more interactive, fun and engaging for students. Boni Tunya for KTN Business Today.
Now we'll take a look at how the Kenya shilling is faring in exchange with the international currencies.
Gold Rush in association with Kenya's migration to digital